When it comes to U Sport men's hockey, 4 years can go by in a flash. For today's guest in the Panther Primer, we're going to take a look back at the commitment process to the University of Prince Edward Island, hosting a national championship, and now leading a young group back into contention. Please welcome to the set, fourth-year Bachelor of Arts students, defenseman and second-year captain, Kurtis Henry. Bo Ford subbing in for Norman Beck as he travels around the world here in the first half of the AUS men's hockey season on this edition of the Panthers Primer. Happy to be joined alongside by fourth-year defenseman, second-year team captain Kurtis Henry. Hank, thanks for joining us here today.
Thanks for having me.
It's one of those things, Hank. You know, 4 years fly by pretty quick when you're having fun, as they say. You know, it's been a journey for yourself as you transition from major junior into U Sport hockey. You came to UPEI after that COVID year where you obviously didn't get to finish out your 20-year-old season of major junior. But as we take a look back here, I want to start right from the beginning and that decision on how did UPEI come about. Obviously you're kind of sitting around, obviously waiting to make a decision, but in hopes of also getting somewhat back on the ice during that season.
Yeah, it would have been good to play my OA year in the O, but just didn't work out. And then obviously I knew the high-end caliber players that they had here, like Owen Hedrick, Kyle Maximovich, and then just some other OHL guys that I played against throughout my time there. So I knew I wanted to keep playing hockey and go to a good team, and I knew they were great guys as well, so it was a pretty easy decision to come here, and I was really excited. Was there any sort of, information that was relayed based off of school or community or that sort of thing that you would get by coming to the University of Prince Edward Island? Yeah, I kind of heard about the island. I didn't know much about it before, but just kind of getting away from the big cities in Ontario, more small town feel out here, and the guys loved it, and I kind of trusted them, and everything's been good so far. I've been liking it. You mentioned a couple names there, guys like Owen Hedrick and Kyle Maximovich. Obviously, you played major junior with those guys in Erie, where you spent your major junior career. I think I did a quick count. There may be 7 guys, I think, that you laced them up with in Erie over time that you've now played with here at UPEI. How important was the connection to those guys as you transitioned into becoming a full-time student athlete? Yeah, it was huge. They really helped me along the way. Just teaching me how to be a student athlete, like you said, and continuing to excel on the ice and in the weight room, and just working hard all the time while managing the student side of it as well. So yeah, they were huge with that. Definitely a transition period, but yeah, they made it pretty easy on me. So just explain a little bit on that transition period for guys or fans that might not know. People come to the rink here, they get to see your on-ice production, but maybe what were some of the challenges that you faced on, becoming a full-time student at university while managing a hockey schedule? I'm sure in major junior you live with billets, like the cooking aspect, the living on your own. How did that transition happen, and maybe what were some of the challenges that went into it? Yeah, it's a lot when you first come. I think most of us in major junior didn't go to school for a few years too after high school, so coming back to school, a full course load, there's a lot going on, right? You have class all week, practice, workouts, and then you got to go home and make sure you're feeding yourself properly and making good food, and then there's assignments on top of that you have to complete, and then once you can kind of get all that out of the way, you have the weekend games to deal with, and then after grinding all weekend, get a day off, and then you're back to work Monday, classes, assignments, got to do your laundry, make food. There's a ton of stuff. Yeah, and I guess part of that too, again, you come from playing somewhere around 68 games to this shortened schedule where it could be anywhere from 28 to 30 games, and it's basically on weekends. So what's that adjustment like for you as a player, where you go, you may be playing 3 games a week, it could be a Wednesday, Friday, Sunday type of deal, to mainly focusing in on games on Friday and Saturday? Yeah, it doesn't feel like it's that much of a shortened schedule when you think about it. You play half the games here, but it definitely feels pretty busy still, and I can't even imagine playing 60 games again, especially how heavy this league is and how many injuries happen. So Yeah, I think it's good that we only get 30 games in.
Let's fast forward a little bit to your second year here at UPEI. Obviously, we talked about how did you land here. You would have known that, you know, the Nationals were coming to Charlottetown, and, you know, you're establishing yourself as a player in the U Sport League. Can you just highlight maybe some of the experience and memories? You know, I think back to that first game at the Eastlink Center, but that was a season where the first half was red hot. Second half, it was kind of back in between. You lose that first round series to UDM. Like, that must have been a challenge in itself, but what are some of the things that you're able to take away from that and some of the highlights of that experience?
Yeah, it was a really exciting year. I think all year we were kind of looking forward to that Nationals, but the experience was great. I think after we lost to Moncton, we kind of had some guys that were banged up, so it was kind of good that they could heal up and get ready for Nationals. But yeah, it was a great experience. I think definitely one of my top hockey memories that I'll remember and I'll look back on one day. The Eastlink Center was buzzing. It was good we won that too. We got to play 3 games in the weekend. It wasn't a one and done. So yeah, that was a great experience, and I know a lot of people put a lot of work into making that happen. So I think the players definitely appreciated it.
The next year, it's a completely different dynamic for you from what you've come into. You're obviously named captain, but a lot of new faces into this team. What kind of a role did you take in asserting yourself with that group of young players that were coming in here? You know, we watched through last season where we really got to appreciate how each player takes their step in a different point in time. Like, I think back to Elias Cohen after Christmas, like, he just started to pop off. It's almost like everything just clicked. Noah Sador kind of came in at the start of the year, and it was just, okay, I'm here, I'm ready to cement myself, and just kind of grinded through the entire year as to what he was. So what kind of messages were you relaying to the team in that process where it's a completely different changeover and kind of a change in dynamic and culture and expectations as well?
Yeah, it was definitely a big changeover. I think me and Piercy, it was a bit overwhelming for us at the start with so many new faces, and we were just trying to explain, like, it's such a heavy league and it's a lot different than junior hockey. So I think just trying to kind of let them know that it's physical, heavy, fast, and just you got to be ready to play every night because every team in this league can win on any given night, and it's a really tight league.
What about off the ice, away from the rink, in the classroom, or, you know, kind of like you talked about, getting used to that schedule? Were you able to share any advice to those guys, or do we see a change where those guys are coming in a little bit more prepared?
Yeah, I think just trying to really lead by example and show them, like, how hard you have to work at this level still. I think maybe people might come in thinking school hockey, you don't have to work as hard, but I think that was big for me too. Some of the guys, when I first came in, they showed me how hard you have to work, and it's really serious, and if you want to move on after hockey here, you have to keep putting in work or else it won't happen. So I think just showing them that and showing them that there can be hockey after here, and just you have to work hard and grind every day for it.
Now we're into your 4th year, 2nd year as captain of this Panthers hockey team. Obviously, you get off to a little bit of a slow start, pick up 2 big road wins last week. What's this group been like for you, and what do you see as the expectations?
Yeah, it's really enjoy being around the group. There's a great group in the room, so expectations. I think we had pretty high expectations at the start of the year, and maybe we started off to a slow start, but I don't think we're looking too much into that. We all know we have a good team in that room, and there's a lot of hockey to be played, right? We get a few more guys back from injury this weekend, and yeah, we like where we're at. We know what kind of team we can be.
I want to kind of ask you, you talked about, you knew a little bit about the island before you came here. This is your 4th year. You're getting ready to graduate from your program. What are some of the things that you really appreciate or have grown to love about, spending most of your time on Prince Edward Island here over the past 4 years?
Yeah, I think there's a lot to appreciate. Just getting outdoors, like beautiful beaches, the ocean's right here. I enjoy fishing too, so that's nice. Get to fish like some streams and for striped bass on the ocean, and then the golf courses are beautiful. There's a lot to appreciate, kind of different than what you'd get in Ontario. So yeah, I love it. It's been awesome.
What about the people or the community? Is there anything that stands out to you about that? Even, you know, your hockey community, your fellow student athlete community. Is there anything that you can kind of touch on with that?
Yeah, the people here are awesome. I think even at grocery stores and stuff, like everyone's so kind and polite. And then you go out and see other student athletes and stuff, maybe go out on the weekend, and it's like a small community, but everybody's real tight knit, and everybody gets along well. It's been good.
I know there's still a really important season for you to finish out here, but if you were to take some time, you know, to reflect on your time wearing the green and white here in Charlottetown, what would be some of the highlights or experiences that, you know, stand out for you?
I think just every day with the guys, like the bus trips, the workouts, stuff like that, I'll really miss one day. Nationals obviously was a great experience, but yeah, just all the guys I met over my years here, I think I'll always remember them, and I'll miss it one day for sure. One
thing that I've picked up from our conversation here is you keep talking about the guys, and obviously there's a culture with this group that seems like it's pretty special. Is this anything that you've been part of before, or maybe even elaborate a little bit on the feeling in that room and what you get to experience when you come to the rink every day?
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, going from class, you're kind of with a group of people that you're not really too close with, and then right when you get into the room, it's like your family's there, everybody's joking around with each other, getting along, everybody gets along really well, so it's a good feeling walking into the room and seeing like all your friends.
All right, Hank, I don't get to sit behind this desk very often, so I want to get inside that room and learn a little bit more about some of the guys in the team, have a little bit of fun here with you. Maybe you can throw a few names at me. I'm going to hit you with a couple of quick hitter questions to see if we can know this version of the UPEI Panthers a little bit better. Who's the funniest guy in the team?
Josh Curry.
Best dressed?
Elias Cohen.
Worst dressed?
Cam Morton.
Who has the weirdest superstition?
I'll go Joe Ranger.
What is it?
There's too many.
Those good old goalies, eh?
Yeah.
You're stuck on a deserted island. Who's the one teammate that you want to have with you, and why?
I'll probably go with Murph. He knows his stuff, so I think we'd make it out alive.
Maybe I'll give you the follow-up then. Who's the smartest guy on the team?
Smartest guy? Carter McCluskey.
Who's the most likely to forget something important?
Josh Curry.
It's karaoke night. Who's the first guy to grab the microphone?
Probably Kieran Gallant.
Good Islander, right? Singing
Yeah.
the old tunes. Who do you not want to hear grab the microphone?
No, I want to hear Mike Stubbs.
Who on the team has a hidden talent that blows expectations? Is there anybody?
Hidden talent. Landon Clow.
What can he do?
You'll have to ask him one day.
I will. Or maybe
though.
I'll prep that up for Norman on the next edition of this. We're doing a cooking competition. Who do you think serves the best meal?
I'll go Creeder. He's a pretty good cook at home.
Anybody that would burn water on this team? Maybe this one's more than one. I don't know.
Yeah, there's probably a couple. I'd say Josh Curry, Patrick LeBlanc, and Leon Denny.
All right, Hank. Well, that's all I got for you. A little bit of insight on the guys. Obviously, it's been a pleasure to watch you grow as not only a person, but as a player as well. I know you've cemented yourself in the community here around Prince Edward Island, so it's a pleasure to be able to sit down with you, and I thank you for joining me today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.